Hey, what's going on? This is Chromebook coding for beginners. I was just thinking. I think we're on. I think this is video 8. But I was just thinking, like, when you want to get into coding and web development, like, what do you actually do? Maybe I should have started there. Like, I don't even. To be honest with you, I don't even know. Um, it's a good question. And I was looking around, and I found this good article here. I'll put the link in. My journey to becoming a web developer from scratch without a computer science degree. And this guy, he writes this big long article on a site called Medium. I didn't read it all, but I read a good chunk of it. And he's got a lot of good tips for things that went right for him, things that went wrong. He learned with some of the like Code School and some of the free sites and some other ones that I haven't talked about. And he tells which ones he liked, which ones he didn't. But this, I was looking at something. Let me see if I can find it here. Um, I was just looking at something and it totally blew my mind. Um, See, I've got like so many shortcuts now, and this is just from like the last like week of poking around. Tools, where is it? Roadmap, there we go. I got so many things I'm losing track of those now, but I found this, and it just made me want to. I don't know what it made me want to do. It just blew my mind. It's on GitHub. I'll put a link in for this too. Web Developer Roadmap 2017. This is like which way you want to head, depending on if you want to go front end, back end, or DevOps. Which I kind of understand what front end and back end are, and I read it, so I didn't know really exactly what DevOps was. But I guess that's like developing operating systems. That's even higher up. That's like the highest up maybe level you can go. Um, but this is like the stuff everyone needs to know just to like get your foot in the door, which is Git, SSH, which I don't know what shush. I don't really know what that means, but I know it has something to do with like accessing a server or something. Accessing, I'm not really sure. I couldn't tell you. I'm definitely not an expert reference. I'm in the same boat as you. HTTP and HTTPS. I get that everything's going to be HTTPS because it's secure. APIs. I know what APIs are. I forget what it stands for. Application Program Interface, I think. Yeah. APIs are like got all kinds of information you call out to them. And oftentimes, I use them to get JSON back, but they do tons of different stuff. They do tons of different stuff that you can use. Terminal usage, I just started figuring out, uh, like the command line on Bash, like barely. Research, got that covered. Data structures, algorithms, that'll tie in with JavaScript in the beginning if you're doing that. Character encodings, mm, I've seen them, but I don't know. In GitHub, that's where you can store your files and keep a record of them as you go through the versions. And he gives like his personal recommendation and possibilities because these are like not an option. These are like you must know this, and then it goes down. It's pretty cool. This tree he's built here. Front end, boom, like HTML, CSS, JavaScript to Ching jQuery. This is like this is like the realm where I'm at right now. The basics, just the basics, which is what we did on CodePen. We put, it's got a folder for each one of these. These are your main three components of your basic standard web page. Um, and of course, from there, the rabbit hole gets deeper. And then then this is where I look at it and I'm like, really? okay, I'm gonna learn this stuff. So like CSS, like, okay, I can handle responsive web, even though the pages I built are rarely responsive. You can actually, here's a cool little trick on running, if you're running the Chrome browser, you hit Control Shift and I, or Control Shift and J, and it brings you in to the dev tools. And you're gonna need to use these if you're serious about web development. But like, it gives you the whole, it's cool. The more I get to know this, the cooler it is. And they have some classes on this at Code School. But this breaks down, you can look at every little aspect, like, okay, in this div with the role of main, and you just keep going deeper into the, you can see the whole entire, and you can make it bigger, and you can look at the whole entire page, every single piece of code on it. This thing's pretty cool. This is like this little thing right here with the big screen and the phone. You go up here and you click these different sizes, and it shows you what it looks like on pixel dimensions right there. So we go down to tablet, go down to the smallest mobile phone. So his is responsive. Look at that. Like, this site is responsive. It goes right down to a mobile phone, and everything just shrinks down. If it's not responsive, like, it'll be like the same size, and you'll see half of it. So this is a good test. You can test your pages. Like, you don't need to do anything too crazy. I mean, obviously, if you really want to test them, you want to pull out a phone, but like, you can just test in general for the screen. And then this icon right here is your select element. So you can pick any element. Like, this is one big image. See, it goes right to image there. Like, you can pick this. This is another image. Article section is the bigger, and it highlights it, the bigger outlying section. Then you learn how to use the console. Sources are going to give you the actual code inside every file that you can have access to from the, like, as assets, frameworks. Just a little something in there, but it goes way over. Excuse me. So you can look at every single file that's associated with this web page. And there's a lot more. We'll do a separate one once I get to know the dev tools a little better, and I can pull one of my sites up. But we're just doing like intro here. So back to this front end CSS. Okay, like, I have used Bootstrap and I have used Materialize. I like Materialize actually better than Bootstrap. But he likes Bootstrap, whatever. There's also Foundation and Semantic UI. These are just like, they help with CSS. They're cool. And then you have these I kind of glossed over. I don't use a CSS preprocessor yet. Although I'm vaguely familiar with Sass. I don't use it. It was like too much information at first, but I'm going to get into it. I do like CSS. I nerd out on CSS. JavaScript, ES6, I'm vaguely familiar with. This is the new standard. Arrow functions, let, const, and a bunch of other stuff. A bunch of new functions and new kind of protocols. Task runners, they do things for you. I know that, but I don't really know anything more about that. I've seen these names. It's a mystery to me. Package manager, heard of NPM, mystery to me. Frameworks, I have heard of frameworks. Angular, React. I studied a little bit of React, but I'm still pretty clueless. And then, it just digs deeper and deeper and deeper. D3, I've done some stuff in D3. So I'm way down here on that one scale. I like D3. And some of this stuff I know. But, I mean, this is just the front end. You don't even want to see the back end. With a couple seconds left, I'll show you the back end. None of which makes sense to me whatsoever. See you later.